Okay, thank you, Sarah, for that introduction. Today I'm going to be speaking about two NutraScience ingredients. The first is referred to as Tricelium, and it's a prebiotic blend of reishi, maitake, and oyster mushrooms. These mushrooms are organically grown in the United States, and they consist of both the fruiting body and the mycelium of the mushrooms. And they're all standardized to greater than or equal to 15% naturally occurring beta-glucans. The other product I'll be speaking to you about is called Eldermune, and this is a complex of elderberry juice concentrate, where our elderberry juice concentrate is a 65-to-1. That means it takes 65 kilograms of elderberries to generate just 1 kilogram of juice concentrate. This has also been dried onto our clinically studied sun fiber, which you just heard about from Derek. And it acts in tandem with the elderberries to improve the oxidative potential of the elderberry itself. And we have a HPLC fingerprint to confirm that as we receive our elderberry, it's not been adulterated. And I'll speak about that in a little bit. So with respect to Tricelium, as I mentioned, it's a blend of 3 mushrooms: reishi, which is known as the antioxidant powerhouse, being rich in GLP, maitake, which is an immune modulator, and oyster mushrooms, which is an immune booster known to tame inflammation. But why do mushrooms matter? In traditional Chinese medicine, it's suggested that mushrooms have a detoxifying effect, and they're capable of cleansing the body and actually healing wounds. And then furthermore, depending on the variety, mushrooms support healthy inflammation and also digestion. And what's becoming increasingly understood is there's a tight connection between the gut and immune health. And consumers understand this now, and they understand that they need to address both of these systems to really get the most out of the dietary supplements that they invest in. So with Tricelium, we've done some very interesting collaborative studies with Professor Dr. Venema's group at Maastricht University. So what you're looking at here is an in vitro, essentially simulated gut, where we have multiple components here. You'll notice over here, these are the peristaltic components. We have a pH electrode here at B to monitor and maintain the proper pH in the system. We have an alkali pump here, which responds automatically should the pH meter detect a pH drop. We also have D here, which is the dialysis liquid circuit. E is a level sensor to make sure that our system levels don't drop too much during the experiment. We also have a nitrogen inlet up here at F to control the atmosphere. And importantly, we have a sampling port down here at G so that we can withdraw samples at different time points during the experiment. Over here at H, we can monitor gas production. And then in I, we have our ileal delivery container so that we can deliver nutrients. And then last but not least, to monitor the temperature of the entire system, maintaining the 37-degree body temperature, we have our temperature sensor. So what we found here is, of these 4 bacteria, dosing the mushroom at either 0.5 grams per day, 1 gram per day, or 1.5 grams per day, we have a dose-dependent increase in all 4 of these gut bacteria, demonstrating that the Tricelium can promote the growth of healthy bacteria in the gut relative to the control, which is purple, labeled SIEM in this graphic. Furthermore, as you've heard throughout the day, we wanted to monitor the generation of butyrate because we know that that's tied into a healthy gut and the presence of healthy gut bacteria. And we were pleased to see that in the presence of the control, we had a lower level of butyrate, as would be expected. But then as we added 0.5 grams of mushroom per day, 1 gram of mushroom per day, and 1.5 grams of mushroom per day, you see a dose-dependent increase in butyrate across these trials in the upper right through the bottom right. Very, very encouraging and exciting. So what are the benefits, just to summarize, of Tricelium? So there's a huge impact on digestive health, even at a low dose of 500 milligrams. And we see butyrate production, which is a marker of a healthy gut and promoting a healthy gut, along with the growth of 4 different bacteria inside of the gut. But what are the benefits of butyrate? So butyrate decreases mucosal inflammation, it decreases oxidative stress, improves the gut's defense barriers, and also promotes intestinal mobility. And as a bonus, Tricelium is not only a strong prebiotic, but it also carries with it some bonus immune health benefits, like suppression of TNF-alpha and IL-6, which can be pro-inflammatory, and increasing the immune modulators interleukin-12 and interferon gamma. So let's move on to Eldermune now, our rich polyphenol complex with sun fiber. So black elderberry is also referred to as Sambucus nigra, and we use the Hochberg subspecies. The Hochberg subspecies is the one that's traditionally known for its medicinal use. Traditionally, it's been used to normalize the GI tract, it's been used as a laxative, and to treat the common cold. Interestingly, in 1995, Zacchaeus Ronis set out to prove the age-old use of elderberry against the common cold. And in fact, in a clinical study, they were able to show definitively a reduction in cold symptoms. So moving on to polyphenols. What are polyphenols? They're natural compounds found in plants. They consist of 4 major categories. There's the flavonoids, like the flavanols, quercetin, found in onion, and camphorol. There are the flavonols, catechin and epicatechin, famous for their presence in green tea and other tea varieties. There are flavones, like apigenin and luteolin, found in herbs. The flavanones, hesperetin and naringenin, which are famous for being found in the citrus peels. And then finally, the anthocyanins, known for their bright colors, and in elderberry, the deep purple color. Also, there are the phenolic acids, like tannic acid, known for its astringency in wine. The polyphenolic amides, capsaicin, for its pungency in peppers. And then finally, some others, resveratrol, known for its presence in red wine and health-conferring properties, and curcumin, found in curry powder, and turmeric. But what about the elderberry polyphenols? So the flavonols in elderberry consist of quercetin, camphorol, and isoramnitin, but also phenolic acids like chlorogenic acid, similar to the chlorogenic acids found in green coffee bean. And then the anthocyanins, which make up the deep purple color for elderberry, and there's 4 of those, and we use those 4 anthocyanins to track the quality of our incoming elderberry. But then there's also a conundrum where the anthocyanins really aren't that well absorbed. Traditionally, they've been the focus of the health benefits, but really they make up only a small fraction of the polyphenols. And the other polyphenols have stronger anti-inflammatory and immunomodulating properties. So we think there's more to be found in the polyphenols. There's more to be discovered. So what about some of the polyphenol bioactivities. So here's a list. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I'll point out some interesting ones. Antibacterial, which I'll speak to in a minute. Antifungal, which is a huge topic these days. Antiviral, we've all been through the COVID pandemic, so we know that's important. But also lowering blood pressure, nitric oxide activation, and without a doubt, anti-inflammatory is very important. So there are several ways to analyze polyphenols. In our approach, we use the Folan-C HPLC method because it's validated, and it uses gallic acid as a reference standard. Here we're looking at our chromatogram of one of our Eldermune analyses. In this case, we're looking at anthocyanins. And this shows you that there's 3 anthocyanins and 1 buried there. So we track this to determine the purity and quality of our incoming elderberry. In this chromatogram, we're looking at the polyphenols. So you can see there's a large variety of them. And we were able to track both the number and the quantity by carrying out this quality approach using HPLC. And lastly, we use MALDI time-of-flight mass spec to confirm the molecular weights and the identities of the various polyphenols. And you can see their molecular weights get quite high. So what about polyphenols and how they promote gut health? So this is a relatively new topic, and it's believed that they play a dual role. So they play a role in a direct bacterial stimulating fashion, but they also play a role as antimicrobials. So it's a balance between the two. And it's also known that there are 2 sets of enzymes associated with the microbiota, Cas enzymes or carbohydrate associated enzymes, which break down fiber in your traditional prebiotics. But then they've also discovered Pozymes, which are polyphenol associated enzymes. And these take the polyphenols that we take in and then convert them to secondary metabolites. And then because the polyphenols, a lot of them aren't well absorbed, so they travel through the entire gut from the small intestine to the large intestine. And so even the secondary metabolites can be metabolized again by other microbes. So this term, this dual activity has been given a name now. They're referred to as duplabiotics. And in a recent study, supplementation with polyphenols derived from elderberry extract, 300 milligrams twice a day, has been shown to boost akkermansia, which is associated with a healthy gut. So we wanted to do a study of our Eldermune as a prebiotic. And so using a similar setup as I talked about previously with Maastricht University, we did an in vitro simulation of a fermentation that occurs in the gut, in the colon. We used human stool from volunteers to generate a microbiome. And then Eldermune was added, and we tracked the metabolites that were measured. And so what you're seeing in these plots is total short chain fatty acid generation, along with the change in the pH present in the gut. And as you would expect, we saw a dose-dependent increase in short chain fatty acid production, and not surprising, a reduction in acidity, which is also associated with a healthy gut. So interestingly, there's an opportunity here. And the opportunity is to actually combine Eldermune with butyrogen. And so this combination of ingredients enables the consumer to take advantage of the polyphenols and the anthocyanins present in the elderberry juice concentrate with their potential duplabiotic effect, coupled with tributyrin, being a direct microbiome independent source of butyrate, along with both of those components containing our sun fiber, the partially hydrolyzed guar fiber, which is known for its indirect microbiome-driven butyrate generation, cholesterol lowering effect, and in kind of a unique fashion, relative to most fibers, it actually promotes mineral absorption. So just to summarize with Eldermune, it's an innovative, proven effective prebiotic for the human gut microbiome, and it's beneficial to the bacteria present in the gut. It increases the concentration of short-chain fatty acids and also at the same time reduces the pH in the gut, both of those acting in tandem to improve gut health. If you'd like to learn more about Eldermune and Tricelium, here are some references, and we also have some text sheets and additional information that we would be happy to provide to you. So with that, I'd like to thank the audience for attending, and my contact information is here. Feel free to reach out to me.
Thank you, David. Just a reminder, if you have any questions pertaining to David's presentation, please add them in the Q&A. We do have a few that we'll run through briefly. The first one is, how do you determine the authenticity of your elderberry product?
Yeah, so we track the elderberry product using the 4 anthocyanins that are present in elderberry, the Hochberg variety, and our Eldermune product. As long as those 4 anthocyanins are present and there aren't additional anthocyanins, then it is authentic. Common adulterants for elderberry, and elderberry is very valuable, which unfortunately means that the counterfeiters try to take advantage of that. So the common adulterants include grape and brown rice powder, but by tracking our supply chain and ensuring the presence of only those 4 anthocyanins, we ensure the quality and identity of our Eldermune product.
Great, thank you for that explanation. The next one is Eldermune an extract or a concentrate, and what is the difference?
So Eldermune is a concentrate. A concentrate is essentially just removing the water, filtering it so you lose the fiber from the product, but then you retain more of the polyphenols. Whereas with an extract, you're using a solvent to extract the berries. So typically you get more anthocyanins in the extract, but with loss of more